Are you ready? And away we go. Boom! Shot out of a cannon, Orchid. Ready to go here for another week of the Orchid and Kato show? Let's go ahead and hit it then. This week, interesting week. I thought a little more. I thought the stuff with Kofi Kingston was really sort of fascinating. It was the highlight of the week for me. How did you feel about how everything played out between SmackDown and the Elimination Chamber?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good. It was a good week, I thought.
Yeah, I really did you buy for a minute that Kofi was going to win the title?
Maybe for a second, but I mean, I think that we'll have a good match going forward at Fastlane.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine they'll put the belt on Kofi.
Yeah.
You're an Orchid's brain.
Our background people, they can't talk.
You shouldn't be in people's frame!
You gotta work silently in the background.
People. I don't want the camera to just move and then you yell at me later.
Good help is hard to find. All right.
15!
Kofi, but yeah, Kofi I thought was, I thought it was presented well.
Yeah.
I really hope that he did not win the title at Fastlane. I really hope that they put it off and do it at Mania. But if I were going to guess, I'm going to say he's not going to win the title at all.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's going to win at all. But, I mean, he's been doing a great job. The last 2 weeks, the matches have been awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
just imagine a week ago he wasn't even a conversation in this match.
Yeah, it almost makes me wonder, though, if the Mustafa Ali thing was a smokescreen. Like it was always going to be Kofi. I don't know. You don't think?
I doubt it. No.
Because I mean, it seems so purposeful right now to get Kofi over.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Who do you think fights Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania?
I think it's going to be Kofi.
You think they'll bring it back twice?
Yeah.
You think they'll have Kofi lose twice? Ooh, that's rough, man. That's rough. I think it's going to be somebody else at WrestleMania. I've seen some speculation on maybe like The Undertaker coming back.
Why?
Great question. I don't know. Maybe somebody that hasn't been on television for a long time. Batista even.
Okay.
Coming back. I hope not. I would really like it to be Kofi, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. I mean, I've been harping on this for 6 months or whatever we've been doing the show. I felt like Kofi could do well in this role. And now that he's doing it, getting the opportunity, he's really succeeding at it.
Yeah. So,
and it's what people want, obviously. So here we are with this product that people want. Give it to them.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to. You can drag it out until Mania, but I think it's the right thing to do to give it to Kofi Kingston. I thought it was brilliant. I think that Daniel Bryan's been brilliant throughout this, helping this situation with Kofi. The stuff on SmackDown has been really sort of really good.
Yeah, I agree.
The only thing we didn't have on our board here, I just mentioned SmackDown. Last night we watched Mandy Rose beat Asuka.
Yeah.
Which was nuts to me.
Yeah.
Where do you think they're going with that?
I think that they're going to have a match. I think that... I think they're going to have a titles match at Mania.
At Mania?
Yeah.
Mandy Rose? Gee whiz. You don't think there's somebody else that we can find?
I mean, who else are they really pushing on SmackDown?
I guess. I mean, I feel like Carmella's a better fit for that spot with Asuka. I feel like who's the really athletic girl that's married to the Usos? My concussion brain's not working right now.
Feel the glow, Naomi.
Yeah, Naomi. Like I feel like she's a better fit for that. I don't know. I mean, I know you got to create new stars, but those two that I just mentioned, they're not really old stars. Like they haven't been handed the opportunity to really,
Yeah.
Carmella was a little bit, but I don't feel like Naomi was really ever handed the ball in that run.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, she did get the belt, but then she got an injury and her brain was really short.
Right. So when we look ahead to this, or back to Raw and SmackDown the last 2 nights, I guess the story of the week, besides Kofi, is all the NXT call-ups.
Yeah.
How did you feel about how that was presented, how it was done, the timing of it all? Just as a general package, how did you feel about it?
I thought it was weird. I mean, we just had all those NXT call-ups, and they didn't do anything with them.
Right.
And now we have a whole new group of ones.
Yeah,
and,
I didn't think about that part of it.
Like I feel, from what I've heard, they are the best on NXT. So
right.
I mean, like they're bringing up the best. What are you gonna have at NXT now?
So yeah, they have a few good guys left though. They have, Adam Cole is still really good down there. The Velveteen Dream, which I had read that both him and Adam Cole were going to show up Tuesday night. So I was surprised that they didn't. A lot of people were high on that Velveteen Dream guy.
Yeah.
So they have other guys. They have that MMA guy that's really good. It doesn't wear the shoes. I can't remember. Bro.
Yeah, the Bro guy.
Yeah, he's pretty solid down there. So they do have some guys that can carry the mantle for right now. But two of those guys have belts in NXT. I can't imagine they're actually getting called up.
Yeah.
But the whole thing just strikes me as odd. Like I don't understand. Like Gargano and Ciampa beat the Raw Tag Team Champions clean.
Yeah.
And they beat the Bar, who's arguably one of the best teams on television, and they beat them both sort of clean, like no thought to it. Now, and who was he? Oh, the Ricochet. He won his match.
Yeah, he won both of his.
And someone else who beat Elias. Oh, Aleister Black. Like they all won their matches on back-to-back nights.
Well, have you heard, is NXT getting less views? Like, are they not doing as well?
I haven't heard.
Are they trying to get eyes on NXT, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, doesn't it feel better, though? Like, you're trying to get more eyes on it. Bring up your best NXT guys to wrestle your best NXT guys. Then your main roster guys aren't taking a hit in the eyes of the fans. So, like, I don't know. I mean, we're saying NXT is better than Raw and SmackDown? I mean, is that what we're saying now? And so I don't.
Yeah.
I guess let's just give it time to sort of play out. But if this is a one-off for this week, like, I'm not sure I understand what the purpose of it was. Like, it just feels like to me personally it would have been better to allow the NXT guys to work the NXT guys and just have their great matches. Now, for granted, like the match with the Revival was fantastic. I thought the match with the Bar was fantastic. Aleister Black was very memorable. Yeah. Ricochet, every time he's on television, is very memorable because he can do things that no other human being can do. Yeah. So there's something special about him, but I don't know. I mean, maybe they're full-time call-ups now, and they're just going to go back occasionally to drop the titles or something. I don't know. It's all sort of very confusing to me. So let's wait and see what happens throughout. Let's go back even another day now, though, to the Elimination Chamber, which it was. They started off with the women's match, which maybe we sort of were surprised about. How did you feel about how that played out with the tag titles?
I thought it was good. I mean, I'm happy that Sasha and Bayley won. I thought that they deserved it the most out of all of them. I thought it was a good match. Yeah,
I thought it was too. I thought it was a good ending. I felt like the emotion of winning those tag belts was very real, which I really like. That's a part of wrestling I think sometimes is lost on people.
Yeah.
Sometimes when it was over, there was a few thoughts on the entire pay-per-view. To me, in a lot of ways, Elimination Chamber is what can be really good about wrestling because, like, the emotion of Becky and Sasha and the way the fans related to that were excellent.
Bayley and Sasha.
Yeah, what did I say? It doesn't matter.
Becky.
Yeah. And then the way the fans related to and showed real emotion for Kofi Kingston at the end of the night.
Yeah. Like,
to me, that defines wrestling and its fan base.
Yeah.
Like those two particular situations, because even at home, like I just knew, like in my heart, I knew there was no way they were giving it to Kofi.
Yeah.
But I wanted it.
Yeah.
As a fan, like you're like, oh come on, man, let's pull the trigger on it. It's time right now.
Those are the best moments in wrestling, like the Daniel Bryan moments. Like those are. My favorite part about wrestling is whenever you get to see that person who cares so much about the industry get those. Yeah, I agree, and it's nice whenever fans can appreciate that because
I think that you'd find that there's a lot of women and men over the years that genuinely care about the business and love the business and still never get that same opportunity to be the absolute focal point of a night.
Yeah.
I think Zack Ryder's a good example of that. Like, that's a guy who really loves wrestling, has worked really hard, and has not ever really got his opportunity. And just a quick one that jumps out to me, but I'm guessing there's dozens of men and women on there that never get that real opportunity to. And there's dozens and there's hundreds and maybe thousands of guys on the independents that and women the same way that they never get that same moment. So when it does happen, though, it's really cool. And to me, if someone it's hard for me to explain to somebody that doesn't watch wrestling. But if I were to try to explain why I personally love wrestling, it could be encapsulated in those two moments. When after Sasha and Bayley won the tag titles, and in that moment where all three members of the New Day are sitting there, and the crowd is up and clapping, and it just felt so real, and it felt so real because it was so real. Yeah. And that's if you could quantify and explain those moments, throughout my 40-some years now of being a wrestling fan, that would be it. I just love it. Now, maybe when I was a kid, I just loved the giants and the monsters, but ever since I've been an adult, when a lot of people have, my age have moved away from wrestling. When you get to be, a lot of times when people get to be 19, they're like, this wrestling, I'm done with it. But for me, why I stuck with it is because of real moments like that, and I can think of dozens of them throughout my lifetime where, this is why we stayed. This is why, for all the complaining that people do, me included, about wrestling, you just wait for these type of moments, and we got two of them on one show. So for me, and on top of it, it was just over 3 hours. Yeah. Which, in this day and age is like a miracle. So I love the Elimination Chamber. It's not always my favorite pay-per-view because the matches themselves generally don't live up to the hype. Yeah. But and the matches themselves, I don't know that the matches themselves lived up to the hype, but the moments lived up to everything you hope in wrestling.
I really enjoyed the women's elimination match. I thought it was a good match, and then I thought the Daniel Bryan and the Kofi stuff was really good. I don't think that the entire men's elimination match was good, but that Kofi and Daniel Bryan aspect of it was really good.
Yeah, I agree. And funny thing is, I don't remember a lot about the rest of the pay-per-view. Yeah. And I won't remember stuff about it 10 years from now. But those two moments I'm going to remember for a long time because of how... Right. And, the other nice thing about WWE is they will remind us of those moments for a long, long time. And they understand those moments too. Right. So oftentimes people, and I touched on this earlier, complain about WWE so much. But nobody understands how to create those moments more than the WWE. And they did it twice in one night, and it was fantastic. And I just hope they continue to do more with it and go forward, do more of that type of stuff. I don't need everything to be perfect, but if you can give me moments like that you remember, man, that's good stuff. So kudos to you, WWE. You did a good job this week, for me anyway. I guess that's about it. We've talked about a couple things. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up? There were little things that happened. Braun Strowman didn't do much for me. Yeah. We've had a new Intercontinental Champion with Finn Balor. We
didn't really talk about Becky. I mean, she's injured.
Did anything really happen this week with Becky?
She beat up Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair with her canes.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
It kind of zapped the life out of Becky.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a shame. I mean, the crowd's still with her, so we'll see what happens long term. But I've said for weeks now, I felt like Becky has been poorly booked throughout this entire situation. Yeah. But I felt the same way about Daniel Bryan in the weeks leading up to, when they finally did the Yes movement, where all the people came into the ring and around the ring. Until then, they didn't really go hard with Daniel Bryan. Yeah. And that might have only been, somebody else is going to know better than me, but I don't think that was 5 or 6 weeks before WrestleMania, maybe not even that long.
Yeah.
Before they decided, all right, we have to begrudgingly do something. And maybe that's going to happen with Becky here now. At the very end, last 3, 4, 5 weeks, they're going to be like, all right, we're going to have to do something good with Becky. But, I hate to keep going back to the past, but like when they were putting the whole company behind Stone Cold Steve Austin, like there was none of this nonsense.
Yeah.
Like they decided, the crowd decided, and then immediately after the company decided, we're going to get behind Stone Cold Steve Austin, and there was none of this nonsense at this point.
Well, I think that they can't do that. They can't put their eggs in one basket. I mean, if somebody gets injured, that person's out now. It's not like
that's you know what? That is the risk they take every single time. They've taken every time. Hogan could have got hurt.
But I don't think that they were really thinking about it in that way at that point. Because, like, now it's a serious thing. Like, you have to be done wrestling. But if a concussion happened to Hogan, he
wrestled the next day. Same with Stone Cold. Yeah.
You can't do that now.
Right. But I don't understand why, if you have a concussion, you can't still come to the show and just not take bumps. Don't throw punches, You're
supposed to rest.
For one 15-minute segment, you can't talk some trash, cut a promo. I mean, I'm not a brain expert. I'm not a brain expert.
It's a liability.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just more of that everybody gets a trophy mentality. Come on, man. I could tell you I've wrestled many a matches with a concussion.
I know.
So, who are you again? Okay. Concussion humor. Hilarious, right? So funny.
So funny.
All right, well, I think that's everything we got to cover today. I hope everybody enjoyed it. We'll see you again in exactly 9 days. Right? No, it's 7 days.
7 days.
All right. Hey, for a little bit of concussion comedy, let's do a little Too Sweet.
No.
I mean, nothing says Too Sweet more than concussion comedy.
No.
Boom.